Weird, but weird situation. Yeah. Just going between jobs and just got a whole thing, a little overwhelmed. They sent me like a whole packet of like, this is what your next year's looking like. And I was like, whoa.
I get it. That's very overwhelming. Can I ask you, what state are you from?
I'm originally from Utah, born and raised. Right now I'm in Washington now.
Awesome.
Been for about 6 months. We're park campers.
Cool. How long have you been out there?
I have been, this would be my 6th month, give or take.
Oh, 6 months. So you're relatively new. How do you like it?
Well, I live in a state park, so it's very pretty. It's very hot. Didn't rain as much as I'd been led on to be. But then again, I've been only here for the summer, so it's pretty good. Surprisingly right.
I'm curious. I'm from Florida, so it's very hot.
Oh, okay. Temperature, where are we at right now? Temp. I don't pay attention to that much. Again, I work remote, so it's not too bad outside. It's about 86 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Starting the wind helping.
Not too bad. Florida's. I don't know if you've ever been to Florida, but it gets to like 100 degrees in the summer, and the humidity is crazy.
So humid. Yeah, I have been. My dad moved there, so.
Oh, cool. Where have you been in Florida?
Well, I went down for my honeymoon. We took a cruise down to the Caribbean, and then, it's the port in the Southwest. It was about an hour northeast from that port. I always forget the names. It was like this weird, tiny little strawberry farming town. Best strawberries I've ever had in my life, but that's kind of the area I know of.
Cool.
The name
it sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah, let me ask you some of your opinions before we get into this like whole Trump stuff. I mean, this is still related to politics, a little bit off topic here, but I'm just curious what your opinions on like previous people. Like, what did you think about Biden? How did he do? What ratings do you give him? What did you like? What did you dislike? Listen, I'm not like most Trump supporters. I don't believe everything Trump did is perfect, and I'm actually one to admit that there are a few things that I like that Biden did. But like, obviously not that many in my opinion. But I can always say something I like about some president. I mean, a lot of people just have such hatred for this person or that person. They're not really willing to admit like this thing is good, this thing is bad.
That's relieving to hear, because that's kind of why I jumped in, because how you're interacting with people and stuff is it seemed that way. And believe it or not, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like very avid Trump supporter. I've completely flipped sides. Biden, I feel like there wasn't a ton of things he did horribly, but there's a lot of stuff he could have done. You know, I don't feel like he had a lot of guts about doing a lot of the stuff he wanted. And I just feel like I don't like a lot of politician options now. Like it's, it's Biden, Trump, or it's extreme left, extreme right. It shouldn't even be that. We shouldn't want anybody that's up for office lately in office right now. Like I'm not fully on their side. Yeah, I like one better, but I've always held it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I get what you're saying 100%. I agree with you. I think that's why, I mean, you might hate when I say this, but from what I've read and from what I've researched, the Democrat Party is at their lowest ratings in 30 years. And I don't think that necessarily means that they're switching over to Trump. A lot of these Democrats are not switching over to Trump. They're just denouncing like the normal Democrat or the socialist, views. And they're going more central or more right wing. I'm not going to say that they're right wing or that they're like Republican. I don't even consider myself right wing, honestly. I do consider myself conservative, but like when you come to like right wing, I mean, like when you say right wing, people think far right. They think like Nick Fuentes, or they think something like that. Like I'm nowhere as far right as Nick Fuentes. Like I hate that guy. He's a neo-Nazi. He's a racist, and I also think he's a government asset. Like a little bit off topic, but I think like Nick Fuentes is like FBI or CIA. But yeah, I'm actually kind of more centralist. Like I do believe in some I like social programs and I like ideas, but a lot of them we aren't going to get them. Like we're not going to get like free healthcare. I do love that idea. I love that Europe has free healthcare. I love the idea of free university, stuff like that. I have some liberal ideas like that. And I think, like, I don't have anything. If you want gay marriage as well, that's fine with me. Any of that stuff is all fine and dandy with me. I'm not like extreme right or anything like that. But
So a lot of that is very anti-Trump standing. So I'm curious why you're saying, hey, you support him, but you don't support a good chunk of what he's
what did I
doing
say
and what
that
he
he doesn't
says and what he
support?
does. You're all for DEI from the
No,
sounds
I'm
of it,
not for
and
DEI.
all for
Frig no, hell no.
that's part of DEI, is it not?
Sorry, what's
Diversity, education,
I
inclusion.
did talk.
Gay is very
I
much
didn't
under.
say anything about diversity. All I said I was okay with, legal immigration, gay marriage, all kinds of that stuff. But DEI is all. It sounds
So gay
nice,
marriage is part of
diversity
DEI.
is all cool and stuff like that. But when we're hiring people, I mean, you should feel the pain. We're both white men. Do you think that people, just because they're gay, they're trans, or they're black, or they're another ethnicity, do you think they should be prioritized? Like, do you think, just because you're like not a regular white straight man, you should have priority in hiring? Like, a lot of companies have said out there, oh, we need to get we need to get our rankings up so we can get DEI, and we have to get we gotta hire at least some black people and some gay people, and like, you shouldn't be hired because you're black, gay. It doesn't matter about your skin color or your sexuality or your diversity. It should matter about your skills. Like, lots of
I
black
see
people
where
have
you're
said
coming from.
this. Lots of gay people have literally came out against DEI. Like, they said, no, fuck that shit. I don't want to get hired for being black or gay. I want to get hired for having good skills at my job. Like, no, I'm like, I understand you can make the argument and say, yeah, these people, well, they're underhired. Gay people are underhired or something, or blacks are underhired. First off, I don't believe that, but some people might try to make that argument and such. And like, that seems kind of ridiculous. Every ethnicity and every, like, I'm not going to put in stereotypes or anything like that. I'm not going to get too much into this, but I'm just going to say that there's certain things that other ethnicities are better at than other ethnicities. I'll just keep it there like that. That might be a stereotype, but statistically, and a lot of different certain jobs, it's statistically true. Like, I mean, look at the NBA. Who is mostly in the NBA? I'm not trying to say that the white man can't jump, but
Okay, I see where you're coming from, and I've heard this argument a lot. And I used to hold this argument myself of, hey, it should just be off of merit and what you can do, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Work? Okay. So when it comes to merit, we actually did discover that there are different problems with just going off of merit alone, because there's a lot of inherent biases. And to prove that, you can easily look at how the mortgage industry happened. I mean, have you heard of redlining?
Yeah, there's always going to be bias no matter what. Even if we did have DEI, it doesn't avoid bias. Like, it's not going to
No,
avoid
there's always
bias.
going to be
If
some
you show up
bias.
to a job interview and you're not dressed well and you look like shit, then they're probably not going to hire you. Like,
Oh, absolutely. But DEI doesn't remove bias. It highlights bias to get rid of it.
but it doesn't really get rid of bias even. It just
Oh, it
kind
does.
of encourages.
Statistically, it does. Same mortgages happen the same exact way. Have you heard of HMDA?
No, I don't know that.
So every time you take a mortgage, every time you go in a mortgage application, and this is what I work in, I'm a mortgage loan originator. Well, technically I can't legally say that because I'm not hired yet, but I just finished all my training. And a really good one-to-one concept is every time we ask, we have to ask, hey, what's your ethnicity? What's your race? What's all of this? And everybody kind of recoils when you say that, because they're like, why are you needing this for my approval? We don't know. We don't need it for approval. We don't use it for approval. Banks do not use that. It's very illegal to use that. You can't say, oh, I'll give to Mexicans, but I won't give to white people. Oh, I'll give
It
to
is
gay, but not
illegal to use it, but people still technically use it without telling you. Like, though it's illegal
that's
by
the bias
federal
I'm talking
law.
about.
Yeah,
That's the bias
exactly.
I'm
But
talking
DEI
about.
doesn't prevent
So
that. DEI doesn't prevent people from having these secret
it
profiling. It
does,
doesn't.
because it requires we report it. What HMDA is required to do is it
It
reports
requires to report that
all of
you're
the
hiring
loans in
white
all of
straight
the
men.
areas.
So
It
basically,
reports.
it forces you, because of the statistics can't be white straight men, even though if they're the most qualified. Statistically, it can't be all white straight men, even if all the job applications and the best ones, the most qualified ones, are all white straight men. You can't hire the best team because you got to put in the the dumb black gay guy to do the job.
No, because they're based off of local information. That's what they are. If you have a county that is 100% white men, they're not going to expect that you're going to have 1% black person. That's not how it works. But if you have
if you're
a
living
couple
in a black
percent, they would
area, you're
want to
telling
see
me
one
you're
or two.
forced to hire black people, even if the white man or the Mexican man is more qualified. That seems really.
Well,
Either way you look at it, even if it does help more people get hired, like even if it does help more diverse people get hired, first off, it still doesn't prevent any bias. Like you said, you have to make these statistical numbers, yada yada. Some people will just say, what are they gonna? They don't fine you. What do they do if you don't meet these statistical hires? You don't get government funding or something. I don't know what even happens, honestly. What's preventing them from just saying fuck all that bullshit? I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna hire who I want.
higher taxes, sanctions against companies. There's a lot that can do.
Higher
Now,
taxes.
DEI
The
as it
federal
stands
tax
right
law
now,
is the tax law. I've never heard about higher taxes.
DEI as it stands right now does not have that power. I think it should, personally. I think it should have the same power as HMDA because that's what happens. I mean, if it's discovered that you are being biased in your lending, they will come in, investigate, and suspend licenses. And then you just don't do business.
That's the
That's
thing.
what
It's
happens.
virtually impossible to prove that you're being,
No, not really. It's really easy to say, hey, this county has this much according to our data, and you roughly match that, you're good. But if it comes this way and says this county has this much and you're off by a huge margin, 40%, which does happen and has happened, people get shut down. I
So
mean,
basically,
there's reasons
you have to
we went
give a
down.
bunch of people you have to give a bunch of people loans or jobs, even if they don't have the finances, even if they don't have the
No,
qualifications, just so you can meet
if
the
you're hiring
statistics.
fairly without
You got to
bias, those
meet the
numbers happen anyway.
statistics. Sorry?
If you're hiring or lending loans without bias, that happens anyway.
There should always be bias for a reason. It's not about race or
Oh yeah,
ethnicity.
there's
It's
tons of
about
bias. There's bias like, hey, you can't afford this housing payment, or hey, you're in a wheelchair. This job is literally to be a jogger,
you might
or
live in
something
an
like
area
that.
where there's more of a
I'm
certain
not talking
ethnicity
about
or
the
a group of
biases of
people.
whether you're fit for the job. I'm talking about the biases that's built in when it comes to DEI stuff, like
Here's
race,
a
higher.
great point. You say that you have to hire people, or it should be based on the ethnicity or
Mhm.
sexualities in your area. Well, what if you live in a really, really poor, fucked up area where 90% of these people don't deserve the job anyway? So you're pretty much
I
forced
would
to hire them because they're of the
I would
ethnicity.
charge you to find me a place like that.
I don't know,
Find a place where
Detroit or something
90% of
like
the
that, where it's all
population
fucked
can.
up and burnt down and abandoned
And none of
houses.
them deserve a job? None of them can't work
If you're
flipping
really
burgers?
poor, uneducated, and you don't have, the qualifications for the job, it's not that you don't deserve the job; it's that you don't fit
You
the
need
qualifications.
qualifications to flip burgers?
I didn't say flipping burgers.
I did.
Well,
We're
yeah, you
talking
do
about
need
a job. Is
qualifications
McDonald's
for
not a
flipping
job?
burgers. If you have a history of setting restaurants or kitchens on fire, yeah, you
Yeah.
need some
That's
qualifications.
called criminal history. And yes,
No,
we
it's
do
not
have bias
necessarily
against
criminal
that.
history. What if you have a reputation in your city of setting shit on fire for not being a good cook?
You'd have to be a really, really bad cook to do that, one. And two, I'm not talking about those qualifications. Every job can be trained, every job can be taught. If employers are willing to do it, they can get there. Now, if people are absolutely horrible, then they should find a different job in industry. I fully
Not
agree.
everyone can be a rocket scientist. Not everyone can be a doctor. Not everyone can be a lawyer. So I kind of completely
Correct. Those are
disagree
very hard
with
jobs.
anyone can be taught anything. That's definitely not what I agree with.
So you don't agree that most jobs are teachable? Because
You
if
said
you
every
have,
job. You didn't say most jobs. You said every job is teachable and
I should
learnable.
stick
Anyone
to what
can
I
do
said.
anything.
Every job. You don't agree
No,
that
not
every
every
job
job.
with somebody who is trying their best and learning their
No,
best.
that's not.
So
There's
you
a
think
reason people get
inherently,
fired. Even when they're trying their best, people still get fired. And it's for a reason.
yeah, because
Like not
situations happen,
everyone not
medical
everyone can be
situations.
that's like saying anyone can be Elon Musk if they want. Yeah, everyone can shoot to be like Elon Musk or a great businessman, Bill Gates or anything like that. But it's unrealistic to say, "Oh, everyone can be Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, even if they have an 80 IQ, all they got to do is they can be trained. That's just not true. Everyone has a different skill set.
Yeah,
Everyone can
and they
do
should
certain
maximize their
things.
skill set. Everybody has
Sorry?
a skill, and they got to find a job to get into it. So you're angry that they can't get into those jobs that they're skilled in?
No, I'm not angry. I think you should go to the jobs that you're skilled in. I'm just saying your
Okay.
claim that anyone can work anywhere if they're teachable. Everyone's teachable. I think it's wrong.
I would agree to disagree on that one. Not super important that I
So you
die on
think
that.
everyone can be a rocket scientist, an astronaut?
Oh, absolutely. If you try hard,
No,
if
physically,
I'm not
everyone
saying
can.
it's easy.
Physically, you do not meet the requirements. Here's an example. Physically, everyone does not meet the requirements to be an astronaut. You have to be a certain height. You have to have a certain weight. You have to do certain physical conditions. Not
Hmm.
everyone can run 20 miles on a treadmill to be an astronaut. Not everyone fits the height requirements, the fit in the spaceship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not everybody right now. 10 years from now, if you say, I'm going to be an astronaut, and you work hard, you study hard, you go to school, and you get yourself fit, absolutely. That's part of the
I'm
teachable
saying
part.
everyone should have dreams, but it's not feasible for everyone to have any job they want. Like that's a kid's dream. Yeah, we tell kids that. We say you can do any job you want, but that's not the reality of the world. You can only do things when you excel and you succeed at them and you're doing well at them. That's
And you can
exactly why
excel
I
and
don't think
succeed
DEI
at
should be a
anything you try
thing
your
because
hardest
some people are just not good at shit. Like that'd be like if I went into the NBA and said, what the fuck? You're not hiring enough white people. There's no white people on here. White people are good at basketball too. Why are only 10% of the NBA players white? What the fuck? We need 50% white people in here immediately, or you're going to face issues. Like, that
at.
wouldn't
And
be
then they're going to come
fair.
back and say, hey, these were the highest performers, bar nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The highest performers should get the job. You proved
And
my
guess what?
point.
There's other basketball teams out there. I'm not going to say
Exactly.
you're
There
going to
are
be on
other
the top
basketball teams
10,
out there, and they're all majority not white.
yet we still have white people in them. We still
We
have
do have
people that
white
work
people in
hard and have
them.
a dream and go.
But we don't say, oh, this is a. We don't say Seattle. Well, I don't know what Seattle's racial population is, but we don't say, oh, the Seattle basketball team, they have more black people, even though there's more white people in Seattle. What the fuck? We need more white people. The numbers aren't matching. This is racism. I mean, that's
Well,
kind of how
there is a
DEI,
clear
the
bias,
way you're
yes.
forming it, is a little bit screwed up.
If there's a clear bias, yes. But if they come back and say,
That is a
hey,
clear bias.
here's
Just
how
because the
many
black
people,
people are genetically taller and stronger and better at basketball, we can't hire more white people? What the fuck?
if they
That's
come back and say,
racism.
hey, this is how many people we not interviewed, but did I guess tryouts. I don't know sports that well. But they did all these tryouts and different things and said, hey, here's all the performers, and it was 50-50, then we don't have to worry about it. We just
Aha.
want it reported.
Bingo. So they don't need to get the actual job. They just need to be
No, they
interviewed.
never had to get the actual job. They just have to show that they're not biased in offering the job. I still want merit hires. I still want you to have the job because you deserve it. I don't want you to have a job because you're black. I want you to have the job because you deserve it.
But you believe DEI for like job interviews. I think we already have
To
DEI for
report it.
job interviews. I've never heard of a black, brown, Mexican, white person turned down for an interview. I mean, when companies do interview processes, I've worked many different places, and the companies aren't like turning down interviews really. They're interviewing any and everybody.
Yeah. And most of those interviews are the hiring process in America is not good. We can agree on that, right?
I mean, I don't know where you think hiring process is better. I've worked in overseas in other countries too. I didn't notice anything different.
Ghost jobs, AI, different things like that. Thousands of applicants, only a few get responses, things like that.
I mean, that's everywhere.
Doesn't have to be.
How do we fix it then?
Oh, there's hundreds of ways. Get out of AI and sit down in real person.
Well, AI has
That's a
already
start.
taken over, unfortunately. I don't like AI
And
either.
that's really easy to get rid of. I just read the news the other day of a CEO who tried to get himself hired at his own job and fired and completely upended his total HR team. And he said, hey, we're not using this AI. We're not using this program anymore.
Good
That's a
night,
start.
YM. Sorry, someone in chats is saying, tell me good night.
You're good. But that's a start. There's always just because it feels like there's nothing you can do, there's always something you can do. And you got to start somewhere. Is it going to be perfect? No. But it's a start.
I agree with this comment. He says, get out of AI, but AI is here to stay, pal. Yeah, unfortunately, AI is here to stay. So, what would you consider yourself, by the way? You said you're not, a Trump supporter anymore. What would you consider yourself? A social democrat or centralist? You're frozen on the screen a little bit. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, though, you can drop a super chat. We can talk about it. We can discuss about it. Is he frozen for you guys? He's frozen for me. Maybe his phone is overheating. I don't know. Outlaw, let these people know if you guys got any questions or comments. Drop a super chat. He's frozen for you guys, huh? Smash that like, subscribe button. Oh, he's gone. Let's see if he can join back. Noah, they always do. You want to cry about it? Let's see if we can get him back in. Let's wait 2 or 3 minutes and see if he can join back. Maga, hell yeah. Hit that like, subscribe button. If you guys have any questions, comments, you want to see me do 300 to 400 push-ups, you can drop a $20 super chat. I love MAGA. Let's see if we can get him back in. Let's see if we can get him back in, guys. Maybe his phone died. Maybe it overheated. Something like that, I'm guessing. Should I pause the live stream and message him, or should I wait? What do you guys think? Let me check my messages.